My name is Nick Pauken. I arrived at Youth for Tomorrow in 2005. I graduated in 2010 and signed myself out that same year.
And you were here longer than anybody, huh?
Yeah, I held the record for the longest tenure at Youth for Tomorrow, yes.
Wow. When you come on campus now, how does it look physically compared to when you were here?
So it's much more aesthetically pleasing. There's a lot of brand new buildings. This chapel that we're conducting the interview in, some more homes have been built, and they look like they've done a great job at doing all of that. You can tell the program's been revamped.
Nick, we're going to talk about your background a little bit. What are you doing now?
So I'm currently in the Army, and I'm also an entrepreneur by trade.
Wow, how long have you been in service?
I've been in 11 years.
Well, thank you for your service to our country, my friend.
Absolutely.
What took you to the Army?
So essentially, like I said, I signed myself out in 2010. I got accepted to Norfolk State University. I attended one semester there at Norfolk State. And essentially what happened is I didn't know anything about life. To this day, I still don't even know where any of the classrooms were. And I was left with a 0.0 GPA, never to return. And so at that point, I was homeless, back on the streets, which I didn't want to be, but that's where I had to go. And I had to figure out what I was going to do. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to join the Army.
And in hindsight, what did the Army help you with?
I'll say this. It took a while, but the Army helped provide structure and balance in my life that I needed. And I was also able to learn a lot of different life skills from some of the leaders in the Army.
What brought you to Youth for Tomorrow originally back in the day?
So I had a lot of trouble at home, and my parents were looking for a place to help correct some of these actions, as they say.
Yeah, and what was your initial impression when you first got here?
Do you mean with towards my parents or towards Youth for Tomorrow?
Towards your situation. A lot of folks have given me a variety of answers. Anger, didn't want to be here is the norm, to be honest with you, with most of the alums I've talked to.
And that's a fair assessment, right? You know, a lot of people when they come here, they can feel senses of betrayal, frustration, anger, and I've definitely felt a lot of those feelings initially, and I would say all the way up until I left, I felt those kinds of same emotions towards my situation.
Do you have any fond thoughts of any of the staff here when you were here? I'm sure there were some ups and downs for you. There's no doubt about it. But in hindsight, retrospect, were there any people here that, tried to help you?
Absolutely. You know, Dr. Jones, obviously, he's a special individual, right? He runs the place, and he's just done a phenomenal job at creating what he's got going on here. Duncan Jones as well and his wife were amazing. Jean Jones, who is now retired, very special lady, will always be very near and dear to my heart. And the Howards, Sean and Rosalita Howard, they were also some of the hall parents, is what we called them back in the day. And they were instrumental in helping me not do craziness.
In a general sense, because you mentioned a lot of people, why do those people stick with you? Why would you give those names to me now when I asked you, people that you might think fondly of? What was it about them?
While I didn't like it back then, what I realized as I grew older and wiser is that they never let me get away with anything, right? They always held me accountable, and they always told me the truth about what it was I was doing and what it was I needed to do to correct myself.
Did you have any type of spiritual journey that might have started here or maybe began after you left? What are your thoughts on, God?
So I was definitely not spiritually inclined while I was here. I wasn't spiritually inclined for many years after I left, even into the military. And now I am a believer. I accepted Christ not too long ago.
What did that mean to you, and how would you mentor someone who might have been in your same position?
I would say that accepting Christ has been the single best decision I've made, and I've made a lot of great decisions in my life over the past several years. That has been the single best one. My life has absolutely been transformed, and it happened for me. It happened within the week. It started, and so I would say, don't knock it till you try it. There's absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain.
What does the future hold for Nick Pauken?
The future most likely holds an exit from the military in roughly a year, and I am going to be looking to start an investment firm based out of Dallas.
People say they have no regrets, but I think, when people sit down and think about their past, there's always something here or there that you might have done differently. When you think about the time you were here, do you have any regrets as you look back, or do you feel this was supposed to be your path?
So my view on regret is this. I don't believe in the concept of regret. I believe that if you regret things in your life, you shouldn't be making those decisions. You should always make decisions based off not living your life with any regrets. So I regret absolutely nothing. I think that everything I did has made me into the man that I am today, and I'm proud of who that is. So I hold zero regrets about any of it.
I would think that some of the lessons you learned in the military, you're going to put to very good use in the business world once you go there. Am I accurate with that?
That's correct. I'm going to take the leadership skills, the financial management skills of, you could say, company funds as a way to describe it, and the ability to train and manage personnel into running a business.
Any advice you might give a young man or maybe woman who would find themselves in the same situation you found yourself years ago, again, which brought you here originally, and you're in you've grown a lot, obviously, and you're doing a great job with your career and your future careers as well. So you're in a pretty good position to be able to maybe mentor some kids, I would think. And do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so it's funny that you bring that up. I started coaching some younger soldiers in the gym not too long ago. And at that point in time, I realized how much I enjoyed seeing the growth that they were making. And we were also able to have a lot of interesting conversations just about life and concepts about being an adult and how to look at things, right? So I realized that that is a field that I deeply enjoy. And so with the money I look to make with the investment firm, I hope to be able to influence young lives on a much bigger scale and really set them up for better success than I had.
Which brings me, it triggers a thought. What's your thoughts on leadership? Because you've obviously become one while in the service. And as you mentioned, you're coaching up some kids in the gym, probably younger than you, I would guess. So what are your basic philosophies on leadership?
So don't ever make somebody do something that you wouldn't be willing to do yourself is number one. And the second is you live by the golden rule, right? You treat people well, right? And you take care of them, they're going to take care of you. You are only as good as the subordinates under you, right? So you can't be successful in any industry unless you got quality people working for you and you take care of them.